People's Democratic Party National Executive Committee meeting. It was a highly anticipated meeting with lots of expectations. But what played out today is why we're going to have this conversation. I'm being joined on the program by a member of the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party, Chief Bode George. He joins us from our Abuja studio. Chief George, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Always my pleasure.
We've seen some excerpts from what played out today, but as I did introduce, I say you're the person, or one of the persons in the room. Perhaps let us in on what this NEC was meant to achieve and whether indeed it did meet expectations.
Yeah. Let me be frank. We had 3 meetings. The caucus meeting selected few leaders. We had the Board of Trustee meeting, and then, of course, we had the NEC meeting, which is the next most powerful organ in our party. You know, before the commencement of the meeting yesterday, personally, I was very apprehensive. I was not myself. I was thinking what would be the outcome, what would be, and I hadn't seen many of our friends for a very long time, since the end of the elections. But I must tell you that what he reminded me of was the fact that, yes, this is an irrecoverable political tree for this nation. And, you know, there is no organization anywhere in the world. You will have crisis. You will have disagreement. If you have more than 1, 2, 3, 4 people, they all can't agree all the time. And like we have a saying in Yoruba parlance that we cannot all sleep and face the same direction. So it's part of management. You will disagree, or you must never be disagreeable. So all those thoughts were going through my head and my mind, and I kept thinking, my goodness, how would you, you know, I was the first to arrive at the venue yesterday. I sat back, I was thinking of our days since 1998, 1999, and all those, and I was saying, would today be the day we were going to bury this party? I prayed to God Almighty that, you know, we will work on our minds, we will be honest with ourselves, and we will remember that the party, we are all members. There's no individual who owns the party. It is our collective enterprise. So as we started the meeting, people kept, then I was the first to be there. They were coming in and seeing me and wondering. I sat very pensive. But I can tell Nigerians that we did not fall short of the expectation from the comparing that level from the time the party was established. The meetings, the first one, which was the caucus, selected few elders, tabled all the issues, and yes, of course, you mentioned the position of the acting chairman, then the position of the secretary, and a few others. But we also have to remind ourselves that, look, we still have to do a post-mortem, an in-depth analysis of what happened after that election, or during that election, the presidential election, which means we have a lot to do. But I am so happy by the time we have these 3 different meetings today. The rays are wild. The thought processes have been redefined. Everybody welcomed each other because we hadn't met but there are still 1 or 2 little issues, people who are still thinking of the way it was. during the period before the general election. I wrote a paper, distributed the paper. This is the time to calm down, discuss with yourselves. It is a family meeting. We can tell ourselves some in-depth truth. And by the time we finished today, the issue of chairman, acting chairman, IU had already withdrawn the appeal, and it's clear. And the North Central have been told that, look, you go and present whoever you want to present, and let your caucus meet. Others had the thinking that this thing was zoned to the north and not necessarily to the northwest or north central. But we had said we still have a bit of time. We don't have any elections, national elections, apart from the one in Edo and Ondo. We have enough time to ruminate, to think, and be honest with ourselves and erase this fundamental thought process that, oh, you are the only one that can do it. You are the one that owns and talks and this about the... You can't do that in politics. You must give. People we have different ideas. But I can say publicly that it was the most successful, one of the most successful meetings that I have had since 1998. So very successful.
So, Chief Judge, so that I'll put it in proper context and for the record. So, are we saying now that the decision over Daguns' future has been made as far as he can still stay on as the acting chairman for how long in the party? I want to just posit a few things.
Now, yes. Yeah, you know, because these are in-depth issues. You know, his case is clear. And when something has to do with the judiciary, you cannot disobey the court. We don't do that in my party. So, but they had been told that he had withdrawn the appeal, so which means there was a vacancy. So, with that in mind that there was a vacancy, they have told in the process, we cannot leave that position vacant and do nothing. But they had given the people from the North Central, what we agreed was that, look, let them go back home, decide who they will want. The next NEC meeting probably will be in August. You know, we have 2 elections coming, local elections, the governorship election in Ondo and then the governorship election in Edo State. We cannot discountenance those ones. So what they had been told is, go and prepare yourselves. By the time we will meet in August, they must be ready to bring their nominee before the NEC, and the NEC would approve. Because the NEC is the next in hierarchy to the convention.
Okay, Chief Judge,
Daguns was gracious enough to say, look, he's not against that. Okay. And that he was even joking there. You know, it was like a family meeting. Very successfully handled.
Chief Judge, I would like to get as much stake on this because there's a lot to talk about. So I want to take as many questions, pose it to you as possible. So that means... what about the position of the National Secretary? The reason I'm asking now, 2 things here. Hopefully the NEC meeting will hold in August, because the last time NEC meeting held was in September 2022, which is in clear violation of your constitution at Article 31, subsection 4. Absolutely. It's very clear that the party is in violation of his own constitution when it comes to NEC meetings. So we hope it happens. Now, what happens to the position of the National Secretary? Is that the same... What decision was made? Because it is the position of the National Secretary that the PDP members in the Rivers State House of Assembly premised their defection to the All Progressives Congress, which is quite critical. So as we speak, Mr. Samayo is still the National Secretary, but the party has lost 26 or so members in the Rivers State House of Assembly. So what's been done about that?
You know, the Rivers State, remember, during the discussions, the Rivers State governor was present, and he reminded the NEC meeting that the decision yesterday, there are a few vacancies and some of the tenure of some of the local government chairmen and the ESCO, and then the state, and some areas. I can't put all those in my head now, but some of them have been given dates. The program is already being noted. They have discussed when they will do all the primaries, congresses in their state, because they had run out of the normal 4 years. It's not everybody, but some. Now, those elections that are coming up in Edo and Ondo, we are preparing ourselves fully for the battle. Because, you see, we fragmented ourselves, and a divided house will always remain a defeated house. We've learned that lesson. We've learned that lesson. And the issue of rivers, because of, I remember that was one of the last decisions made, that was that the caretaker people appointed for rivers had to stand down because there are still issues to be discussed. And everybody accepted that. The other one, the secretary's position,
yes,
they are going to look into it. They didn't discountenance it because, you know, it has to do with a court order that they said this, a court order that gave a directive that the secretary, they should nullify whatever decision they took. But that will be handled. And I am very happy with the way Damagun and all the other members of the National Working Committee had been running the party. You know, because they didn't come out for any exercises. Nobody knew much. But we saw, yeah, they had this human to have some failures. But overall, they did very well. That of the secretary has also been decided. They will be decided. And the finality will come in August. If you are thinking that, yes, it's another abracadabra, no.
It's interesting how these days are being shifted forward, and how, Chief Judge, you made this look quite easy and simple. We hope it is. But let me read you a tweet by Ikenga Ogochinyere of the G60, they call themselves, which is, I'm going to the big elephant in the room, the issue of Nyesom Wike, the FCT minister. Gochinyere said, is this really happening to us? He said PDP governors and the National Caucus members sat helplessly without anyone standing up to stop a serving APC government official from entering their closed-door caucus meeting in Abuja a few hours ago. How weak can a party that claims that it wants to capture power in 2027 be by allowing a man campaigning for APC to stampede their meeting? He hasn't taken down this post. I'm talking about Ikenga Ogochinyere. So, you know, what was the conversation really all about when it came to the issue of the G5 led by former Governor Nyesom Wike and the FCT minister?
Look, there is a committee that is to be set up, or there is a standing committee already set up. They are going to add more members and give them more time to look at. They will do a thorough, in-depth analysis, like a deep post-mortem analysis of those times, the period before our convention. What happened after the convention? What happened to the party after the convention? These are serious issues. But we don't want to start firing, because there are one or two people, too, that were still thinking about that past. The party must move on. We had gone through these war fronts. We lost. They decided that we lost. That we went to the court. The court also affirmed that we lost. It's a lesson. And if you don't learn the lesson of history, you are bound to repeat the same mistakes in the future. Now, with the beginning, because this is the first NEC meeting we are having after the election. So still so much to be discussed. The committees will look at these issues. They will look at the provisions of the Constitution. They will take decisions. And it is this is the time for us as an opposition party to reposition ourselves. That political Iroko tree that those founding fathers planted in this country is still solidly there. You can see the differences between the period we were in government and the period where our brothers, the APC, are in government. There are so many differences. So we are making sure that this internal lack of cohesion at the base of the party, at the middle of the party, and at the top of the party, we will refurnish them, repossess, reinstate all those values before we can go. Some people think, oh, no, just fire this one, go. You don't do that in public offices. People will make mistakes. And there was something I ran into recently. Gandhi, the statement he made, he said it is necessary to have freedom of speech. And he said, if you have that freedom of speech and you forget to add the freedom of making mistakes to that one, then you are going to fail. So think of that. It is now time to do an analysis. Yes.
If I may button, sir.
There were so many things that happened. Yes.
I perfectly understand. So what we read is the fact that a reconciliatory committee is set up for all of this so that they can mend fences. It's great that you're speaking as an elder statesman, but the truth still stares all of us in the face. Nigerians are looking at the PDP to form that strong opposition that it should be. And part of the question I want to ask you is, when you say you are forming a reconciliatory committee, what exactly does that mean? Because there are very thorny issues here. What brought the fracas? What brought the disunity was the fact that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who is from the north, decided to run after President Muhammadu Buhari's tenure. And G5 said it's not going to happen, and he clearly worked against the party. So what does reconciliation really mean? Because as we speak, it doesn't look like Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is not going to run again.
You know, time will tell. It's not a private enterprise. I want to assure you, and assure Nigerians, and to assure all our party members that, yes, we had this crisis before the election, but let us be judged by the manner and the method of resolving our crisis within the sitting room of our party. We are not going to be making decisions and taking ourselves. This is an issue within the party. It should not be discussed in the marketplace. Nigerians are they are looking very quickly for an alternative, because if they have compared these people with 8 years of Buhari, the 9 years of, the 9 months or 11 months of Bola, they put that all together. Is that the dream of this nation? No. We are going to settle our own matters seriously, like a family, because you can't have it all. What happened? I'm not, the leadership, the kind of position I hold in that party, I can't discuss the details outside. But like I told you when I started, I was very apprehensive. I was so frightened. As a general, I said, I sat down there on my own. But at the end of the meeting, I was satisfied that we will resolve this crisis. Yes.
Okay, if you can take this in 30 seconds, because I understand we're totally out of time. FCT Minister Nyesom Wike sits in cabinet with the leadership of the country, which is run by the APC. And there are people in the party who believe he worked against the party. When you look at the PDP right now as a political party, do you see the party walking over that strong mutual suspicion amongst themselves in the nearest future? Just a straight question.
You know, okay.
Because there is mutual suspicion.
I can see, listen, there is nothing new under the sun. There was a time, some of these guys too, who are complaining now, at the national convention of the party, they walked out. They went and joined the APC. They came back because they were deceived in APC. They all came back and trooped back. And we didn't sack them. We didn't, you know, we said, okay, like a prodigal son, welcome back. But now, stick on and follow the regulations as stated in our constitution. There are issues. People have done so many things in the past. All you can do is, it's like you have a family at home. All your kids cannot be doing the same thing and making sure that they are in the good books. That's why the parents will not allow them to do any rubbish. They must follow the laws, you must follow this. It has happened before, and we got over it. I don't see why you are talking now about, you know, when President Obasanjo first came into office, he formed an all-inclusive government. Some of them came back, I mean, went back to their party after some time. Some remained in the party. So you got to know that human failings cannot be perpetuated. And I am, look, for me, what I saw at the discussion, the attitude of the people, I am very positive.
Very George, and happy. My sincere apologies. I'm told we're totally out of time. But it's clear that you're taking that position of an elder statesman. We must thank you for coming on the program. I wish your party the very best, because Nigeria has a perception of the parties across board, APC, PDP, and they say perception is stronger than reality when it comes to the public. We wish you the best. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program.
Yeah. We need that. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Have a good evening.